thing is, are there anybody who wishes to engage in public participation? Oop, I made somehow made it Aaron. Hold on, Aaron. Sorry about that.
Maybe Aaron wants to be co-host. I don't know.
Yeah, they're right. Let's take it over. Okay. Sorry about that. The thing moved right after I clicked on it.
Do you want to go through your?
All right, there's seeing no public participation. The first matter is a invoice to approve on the public safety building, Mr. Tarbell.
Yes, this is another one of the that we discussed were being paid out of project as we move forward in finishing up that project. So this one is for, I move that we approve Corporate Mechanical of New England LLC invoice number 2576 for the sum of $11,988. This is work that's already been done and now just has to be paid for out of the Public Safety Project Building Fund.
Yep. All right, I'll second that.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. Chip,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
it's unanimous. Lynn, it's all yours.
Okay. Can you see the screen?
We can.
Okay. We're gonna try to put it in slideshow mode. Okay, tonight's agenda, we have review of the November 30th meeting minutes. I know we voted pre-GMP 1 last month, but we are asking for a revote of that as well as pre-GMP 2. There was some mix-up of numbers we had split pre-GMP 1 and 2 out at the last minute before the last meeting, and there was some mix-up of numbers between the two. So now that's been cleared up, and we asked for a vote to void the first pre-GMP 1 and to approve this one. And so that means we're voting contract amendments 4 and 5 because they represent pre-GMP 1 and 2. Then we'll go through a design update with SMMA and then just some quick schedule update.
Okay,
Do we have no bills to pay?
We do. I don't know why it wasn't on there. Sorry.
Okay, that's why I thought we did. That's why I thought we were meeting more than anything.
yeah, I've
Okay.
got some here.
All right, so I move that we approve the November 30th Permanent Building Committee, School Building Committee meeting minutes as written.
And I second.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, does anybody object to the November 30, 2023 Permanent Building Committee, School Building Committee meetings minutes being approved? Hearing none, they're approved.
So these are the invoices for November.
Okay, so I move that we approve OPM Construction for Left Field invoice number 29 for $133,159.
I will second.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. Chip,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
unanimous. I approve it.
I move that we approve SMMA BSC Group Site Survey invoice 00604443 for the sum of $19,040.83, along with SMMA invoice 00604443 for the sum of $1,069,101. SMA BSC Group Traffic Consulting 00604443 for the sum of $21,132.16. SMA The Culvert Extension BSC Group Site Survey 00604444 for the sum of $6,050, and SMMA Culvert Extension 00604444 for the sum of $2,626 for a total to SMMA for $1,117,949.99.
And I second that bargain. 99 cents.
You just wouldn't come up with that other penny. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. Chip,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep.
Tom,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
and I'm
I move that we
Oh,
approve
yes.
bond building invoice 122043-009 for the sum of $28,333.33, along with bond building CXC Consulting, PC Amendment 2 Road Consultant for invoice number 122043-09 for the sum of $6,136.67 for a total to bond $34,470.
And I will second that.
You notice they round theirs out to make.
They did. They made it easier.
Yeah. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none. Chip,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Okay.
Lynn, the only thing that I would ask, can you, I know we probably will see this in the next slide or something, but in the future, when you total all the invoices, can you put remaining budget as well? Balance
It's-
after invoices?
It's there.
It's there.
No, it's there for each one.
Yeah.
I'm saying for the total,
Total
Yes,
Project.
Oh, for the total
for the
project.
project.
Okay,
yes,
That's all. It's just. Yeah,
okay.
just fill that block box
okay,
if you can, if it's easy.
I can do it. It shows up on the,
I was gonna say it probably
Total
shows up
project
in the
budget, yeah.
Excel next, yeah, so don't worry about it.
Cool.
I just love seeing the balance after invoices, so that's helpful.
okay, I'll show it to you on the next slide. How's that?
All right.
The balance after invoices
Feels
are
like a segue
two
here.
hundred and 63,681,858.
And this budget runs through when?
The end of the project.
Okay, so this is not pre-construction or any of that. This is the
This
total
is the
project
budget.
cost.
Yes.
Okay.
So, as of November 30th, we have committed 12% of the total project budget and we have expended 4%. The construction documents progress is at 25% and we've expended 25% of the 90% CD budget.
Any questions or discussion?
And
Hearing
just
none.
as a point of reference, our project billings have been slightly over our projected, but we went so long with them being lower, we're starting to catch up at this point.
Mhm.
Any questions or discussion regarding that? Hearing none. Next, Lynn?
So we have pre-GMP 1 that we're asking for a revote on. It somehow carried some of the culvert costs in, I mean, not the culvert costs, but had some of the electrical costs versus the culvert costs. So now this has all been reworked, and pre-GMP 1, the total value is 2,261,380. If you want me to go forward so you can see what 5 is prior to the vote, I can do that as well.
Do we need to void what we did?
Yes, I would ask that you vote to void the previous one and revote this one.
All right,
So-
why don't we do that first?
Okay,
So I move that we void, we don't wanna go to the contract amendment quite yet.
well, it's the same thing. We want to vote or avoid, I'm sorry, we want to void the contract amendment 4, which represents pre-GMP 1, the first one. We want to avoid it and revote it.
Alright, so I move that we void pre-GMP number 1 and contract amendment number 4 that we voted to approve at our last meeting.
And I will second that.
Any discussion or comment? Hearing none. Chip,
Yes,
Wayne,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes,
Tom,
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Okay, now let's vote to
And
approve.
so if you want to vote to approve it now or move on to see the other one
Yep.
first.
no.
My
we'll-
question
let's vote
is
this one.
regarding this is purely the culvert work, is that right?
Yes, now pre-GMP 1 is just the culvert work. They had some mixed up numbers between the two. But you'll be able to see in the amendment that we sent you, pre-GMP 1 is in one column now. And then when you go to pre-GMP 2, you'll see 1 and then 2. And so you'll see them accumulate.
How much of this culvert work is for the extra work that the town is asking us to do? Do we know that?
All of the material. I mean, Joe, sorry. All of the material, only, no labor.
But does
Right.
that mean, but does that mean there's no material being put towards the culvert that's being done on the project?
No, this is
No.
the culvert material for the entire replacement length. This is
Including
not
the extra that was asked
Correct.
for by the town.
correct.
But do we know how much the extra is? That's my question.
About approximately $78,000.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you very well.
Approximately $78,000.
Are we tracking that, or is there no need to, since we've put it into the project?
Since we've included it in the budget, we don't need to track it separately, but if you wanted to track it separately, I guess we could. But
I
it
would
is
like,
part of the total project budget.
yeah, but I would like to track it separately.
Yeah.
Just for our own information.
Okay,
Lynn, on the RTA, I'll detail.
okay.
I mean, that's gonna be tough to do when you start digging and start,
It kind of
Yeah.
is, and you have to be very careful, because if you segregate it out, it could very easily become ineligible. I mean, a point.
right, we wanna keep it
No,
eligible.
but
So
it's more for our own information, not in a
so
separate.
just a sidebar. Lynn,
Yeah.
just
Right,
Try to keep it on, not in any of these reports, just if anybody asks, yeah, well, roughly this amount of money.
I guess I would caution everybody, if we ask the subcontractors that eventually bid that work for the labor side of it, we're gonna be, whatever they put in as a number, we're gonna have to think is accurate, and that may or may not be fully baked. So we can get you a number, but it may not represent
yeah,
what the
that's okay.
estimate says, right? Yeah,
No,
because
that's
I think the
fine.
estimate's probably the most accurate we have at this point.
I think for our information, I would like it, sort of not a guesstimate, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, we can ask. We'd have to do some vetting on the validity of what they give
I
us,
wouldn't-
but
I
I think
wouldn't-
we can.
I wouldn't even ask, I'd just figure out the total length of the culvert and then figure that a per foot price. And the
I
extra
think
is
that-
X amount.
We can get into it in more detail, Chip, but the head wall condition, for instance, is the ad, and that's gonna be driving way higher the cost per length of the whole culvert itself, so
Right,
we'll get you what you're looking for. We'll get
Yeah,
something
okay.
that's very, very close.
All right,
okay,
that's all I'm asking, and we don't need to have it in a separate document or anything, for our own information.
Sure.
All right, because if somebody may on down the line ask, how much that cost. So, and if we put it all into one, we'll never be able to figure it out.
which we have done,
Correct,
so. This is just on the back of a napkin, in
yes,
case we
Yeah.
need it.
okay, sorry to interrupt that. All right, so now we're voting the contract amendment.
Well, no, now we're gonna vote for
Yeah, let's vote to.
contract
approve.
amendment number 4 and Pete, so.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve bond CM contract amendment number 4, pre-GMP number 1, for early procurement for the culvert material, GCs, GRs, and early site mobilization in the amount of $2,261,384.
And I will second that.
Any further discussion or comment? Hearing none. Chip,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes,
Tom,
yes,
Aaron,
Yes.
thank you. It's unanimous.
So the amount of contract amendment number 5 for pre-GMP 2 is $1,387,839, and it is for the early procurement of the electrical equipment.
All right, so we have a motion to void.
No,
We
never
did
voted.
not have this one last time.
this is a new
Oh, we
one.
did not?
Yeah, this is
Okay,
This is the new one.
all right.
So can we have an understanding of what this electrical equipment is?
Yes, if Bon wants to,
I think in simplest terms, Chip, it's equipment that's 600 amp and greater. That's probably the simplest way to put it.
So the switches, all that stuff?
Which,
Switch gear, yeah, anything 600 amp and greater.
Okay. Because of the long lead time these days?
Yeah.
Exactly, yep.
Okay. And the next electrical will be in everything else, right?
Yeah, with the filed subtrades, yep.
Yeah, okay. So are these the only 2 pre-GMPs you're expecting to request?
No, this is the only early purchase of material only. The next one's gonna be site and structure, which will be fully baked, not just material. We're talking labor and the whole subcontracts for,
And that will
Site
be,
and structure.
that will be pre-GMP as well?
yes,
yes.
Okay, and then what else? How many pre-GMPs do you expect?
that should be the last one. That's in January. And then in April will be the final. So 2 more, 1 more pre and then 1 final.
Which will include the first 3 freeze?
It's all cumulative, yes.
Yeah, okay,
The only thing I would say is, depending on how things go with the filed subs, we may, and this is a may, just because I don't want to have it set in stone that there's only going to be one more, we may decide it's smart to just do the filed subs only, and then if we have to get creative with some of the late finishes or something, that we may want to split that up just to make sure the filed subs get awarded quickly. And the reason why I say that is, for instance, the waterproofing that we need for the foundations has to be executed very, very quickly. And
yeah,
if we are if we have any kind of even remote budget issues that we need to sort of let the final GMP process take a little time to make sure we dial the budget in, I'd want to still release the filed subs as quick as possible, but that would be the only caveat to the one more after the site.
okay.
I just figured I'd say that now so that if we get to that point, you don't say, hey, you said it was going to be one more and it's 2. So I just think depending on how it shakes out.
Who would do that to you, Dave?
We would, we would.
I'm going to be diplomatic and say I'm just making sure that we cover ourselves.
No problem. So I move that we vote to approve bond CM contract amendment number 5 for pre-GMP number 2 for early procurement for the electrical long lead time items and GCs, GRs in the amount of $1,387,839.
and I will second that.
Any questions or comments? Chip,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Jason,
Yep,
Tom,
yes,
Aaron,
Yes.
that's unanimous.
so I'm gonna turn it over to SMA now, just to give you a quick update of some of the design progress that's being made.
I don't think we have a formal presentation, Lynn, this
Okay.
evening, other than to say we are well into the 90% set. We plan to issue bid package 2, which David just described, on January 26th. At the same time, we will be estimating bid package 3, which we'll call the balance of the work, So January, between now and the end of January, will be incredibly busy, which isn't to say we won't be incredibly busy after January. But getting that next bid package out is a critical focus for us right now.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
Mhm.
Just so, to update you a bit on the trade contractor pre-qualification, we did advertise for the elevator trade. The statements of qualifications are due on December 20th. If there are no, statement of qualifications received, we'll re-advertise. And the second deadline for the elevator trades will be January 10th. And then we will also, on that same date, advertise for all the other trade contractors with a deadline for those trade contractors be statement of qualifications being January 31st. We'll have 2 weeks to review the statement of qualifications and references and determine whether or not the trade contractors are pre-qualified or not. We will meet as a pre-qualification subcommittee to determine that. And then the intent is to vote to approve our recommendations at the February 15th PBC meeting.
all right, any questions or comments regarding the schedule for pre-qual? Hearing none, Lynn?
Okay, and just we had the Conservation Commission hearing on the 5th. It was continued to the 19th. We're hoping that this will be our final Conservation Commission hearing on that date and that they will issue their order of conditions. We did have the Zoning Board of Appeals hearing last night, which was successful, a successful outcome. And then our next permanent building committee meeting is scheduled for January 11th,
I thought you just said on the 15th.
February.
Oh, that's in February, okay.
Yes.
Is there any need for any others after January 11th? As for these bid packages that are going out on the 26th?
Well, I guess, is
No, we don't need it for
February
the bid
15th
pack.
okay for the approval of the next pre-GMP bond? I don't think we'll have bids back.
Yeah.
We won't have it. We won't.
Yeah,
It's too soon.
So we may need one between February 15th and March 14th, potentially.
most likely. We can
Yes.
when we can reconnect on that. I don't have our detailed schedule in front of us, but that'll have the date that we anticipated getting approval of that amendment on it. So we can align that with a proposed meeting date.
Yeah, March 14th is probably, we need a month to get bids in. Start level.
So we can
Well,
reevaluate
let's
that.
get back to you on that one. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Maybe we can move the 14th meeting to wherever it needs to be. But we'll know more on February 15th about that.
Or if these, Lynn, my question is, if these bid packages are going on January 26th, is that something we need to review prior to them going out? Is this the 90% design? What's,
It'll be, they'll be based on the 90% estimating set. So we will send that out when we send it out to bid. And I think that if people want to take a look at it, if there are comments, we have the time during the bid process to issue addendum or if there's any comments.
okay? Any other questions regarding the meeting schedule? All right, Lynn?
That's it for me.
All right. See, Chip, you can do things faster than the zoning board of appeals. All right, is there any other matters for discussion? Hearing none. If not, I want to wish everybody a very happy holiday.